Yes, I realize I'm a little late to the party on this one, but I still want to talk about it. Is the Pokeball Plus worth it? In case you don't know, this is a Switch controller that only works with Pokemon Let's Go. As you can see, it's shaped like a Pokeball, and it has essentially 3 buttons. You have this analog here that clicks, you have a button here on the top, and when you shake the controller, that is equivalent to pressing the Y button, though the game is a little confusing because it doesn't change the UI if you're using the Pokeball. The UI still references the buttons on the Switch or the Pro controller. It can be a little confusing. It takes a little while to realize that shaking this thing produces a press of the Y button. Right off the top, as you can see, it's a little bit, I'm not sure if you can tell here from looking at the video here, but it's a little bit smaller than I would have liked. This is a common complaint for people trying this thing. I thought from the videos that it was a little bit bigger, perhaps because they use younger people on those videos and their hands are smaller, but this is a little, perhaps a little on the smaller side for you to hold comfortably for hours. After a while, my hand starts cramping up a little bit. As I was saying, you have an analog here, so you can use this to move around in the world of the game. You click on the stick to confirm, which basically makes it an A button, and then on the top here, this is a B button. It's a little bit hidden. It also has motion controls, so you use the Pokeball Plus to capture Pokemon exactly how you'd expect. You throw this towards your TV. Now, Nintendo has had some bad experiences with controllers that you're supposed to simulate throwing at your TV, as I'm sure you all remember. So this thing comes with a strap, and so you wear it like this. You put the strap on and you tighten it up here, and then you put this on your finger as well. So this is how it's pretty secure. It's not really going anywhere. You hold it almost kind of like a yo-yo, and I find it that it's in a position where it's easy to you can let it go to use your phone for a second, but then you can quickly snatch it back up. It's nice. I like this, even though more often than not I don't really rely on this. I just kind of hold it like this, and if I destroy my TV, then I guess I only have myself to blame. Now, the Pokeball Plus is interesting in that it's not just a controller for you to use in the game, but it also allows you to play the game when you're not playing the game. The Pokeball Plus allows you to take your Pokemon for a stroll. At that point, the accessory starts counting your steps, so the more you walk, the more your Pokemon can level up. Combined with the fact that all your Pokemon level up regardless of who you're battling with, it makes the game a little bit on the easier side. I went for a short walk and one of my Pokemon leveled up like 10 levels. That makes the Pokeball Plus kind of like the Pokewalker on the DS. Though that was a little more interesting because it had a screen, it had mini games, so there was more ways to interact with the accessory than the Pokeball Plus. Although you can do this with the Pokeball Plus. When you have a Pokemon in there, the light will flash in the color of the Pokemon that you have, and if you have either Pikachu or Eevee, shaking the Pokeball will make them quote-unquote talk, like this. It's kind of adorable. Also, the Pokeball Plus interacts with Pokemon Go, which I suspect was kind of their idea with this game. It's clearly very much inspired in some of the mechanics in Pokemon Go. Some people are considering this a stopgap in between Pokemon Go and a proper Pokemon title, so it makes sense that its accessory also works with Pokemon Go. Basically, if you have this thing on you, it'll interact with Pokestops and Pokemons that you find along the way, so you can use that to acquire items and capture Pokemon without having to pull out your phone. Now, this is pretty limited in regards to UI since it only has a light here, so it's kind of hard to play the game and navigate it using just the Pokeball Plus, though the notifications will still show up on your phone if you're using this to walk around and capture Pokemon and swipe Pokestops and things like that. Overall, the Pokeball Plus made the experience interesting enough that I, somebody who never cared about Pokemon Go, actually gave it a shot, and it was pretty fun. Plus, it motivates you to walk around, which is a plus. A Pokeball Plus, if you will. So that's the Pokeball Plus. Of course, you can get it on its own or in a bundle with the game, and you get a Mew, a rare Pokemon, if you buy the Pokeball Plus. Apparently, that's the only way to get the Pokemon in the game, and it is pretty tank. So there's that to factor in. It's weird to me, a 34-year-old grown man, to be excited about a Pokeball, but this design is so iconic. The circle with the red on top, the white on the bottom, the little button in the middle here, like this, the black line of going across. It's very iconic, and it really takes me back to being a kid and being able to capture Pokemon, actually throwing a Pokeball at my screen that I can then put a Pokemon in and walk around to level it up while I can't play the game. You'll see that this is a consensus among the people who tried this thing. It's almost silly that we should be enjoying it as much as we are, but there you go. Does it add a whole lot to your Pokemon Let's Go experience? Not that much, to be quite honest. I mean, for somebody who's not a fan of the throwing mechanism to capture Pokemon, I much prefer the regular battle system of the previous titles. It's fun. It's fun. It's not the same thing I was used to, but it's fun. But what do you think? Is the Pokeball Plus worth it, or is it just a cheap gimmick that nobody's gonna remember a year from now? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, follow me on social media. I'm always very excited to talk to you guys over there. We have a Discord server now, so check the description for all the links and everything else you need. And that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy, and I'm done.